Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm extremely sorry I could not log in earlier because I totally forgot that today is Thursday and the class is here for some reason. So I apologize for that, and let's start the class with this Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Now, in the last class we covered lesson 9, and now this is lesson 10, and this is about 3 cases of noun. 3 cases of noun. But before going further, I like to give mic to someone so that I may check that my voice is reaching you and you can see the screen comfortably. So I like to give mic to M7029. Assalamu alaikum. M7029. Assalamu alaikum. M7029. So you're not here. So if I say this M7039, Assalamu alaikum.
M7
7035. Assalamu alaikum.
Hanji, assalamu alaikum, sorry.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that's fine, no problem. Jazakumullah. Okay, now in the previous lesson, as I mentioned, that there are possible 3 cases of a noun, and I referred to the most beautiful human name, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and I said that in kalima tayyiba we say la ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah, and in this statement is Muhammadun with 2 dhammatain, and in adhan we say ashhadu anna Muhammadan, and there is 2 fatha or fathatain. And in Durud Sharif, in Salat ala Nabi, we say Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin. The same personality, the same great prophet, the same beautiful name, but 3 case endings. So this is this lesson is about that one. And this lesson is, as compared to lesson 8 and 9, is short because it is just the 3 cases. So if we are late, definitely I started late, but inshallah ta'ala we can cover this lesson 10 within time, no problem. So as I mentioned that we have to reflect over the following examples. So if you go to table 10.1, you would say that this is on my right, this is case 1, okay, and the same word is in focus. So kitabun is the very first word in this column or in this line, and we know that in Surah Al-Baqarah we say dhalikal kitabu, we read dhalikal kitabu la rayba fi. So kitabun, bun with tanween, we know that kitabun means a book. Because of tanween, we will translate that as a book. So kitabun. This is a very genuine condition or very genuine case. Every noun would be in a dhammatain. Case ending will be like case 1 with dhammatain, or 1 or 2. Okay. Unless there are governing factors or awamil, the factors which render one condition or one case to another case. For example, if you go to case 2, is kitabun becomes kitaban, but you can find a change as well. You two fathatain on the last letter, which is ba, but also connected alif after that, because this is a rasmul khat, and this is a grammatical structure that when the case 2 you know, when there is a two fathatain, it is 99%. Most of the time, 99%, it is followed by alif. I mean, the alif is added in the writing, okay, most of the time in writing. Either it is connected or sometimes it is stands alone. It depends upon which letter, which is the last letter, okay. So because the last vocal letter, so if I say the last written letter, definitely in this case, there's my in this case is this alif, okay, but the vocal letter is not alif, it is ba. So if I say kitaban, the last vocal letter will be a voice letter, will be ba, not alif. But alif is written, but alif will be included in the pronunciation when we make a stop here. And this is basically recitational rule, not a grammatical rule. For example, if I say kitaban, and if this word comes in the Arabic recitation in the Quran, I would say kitaba. Okay, kitaban in a continuous recitation, but if I stop here, it will be kitaba. So anyway, we move to case 3. So kitabun, kitaban, and now kitabin, and you will find that the last letter carries holds a tanween, like in tanween with kasratain, tanween of kasratain, two identical kasra. Okay, so kitabun, case 1, case 2, kitaban, and kitabin. Now, if we go to the next line, is Rabbun. We know that Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Rabb is a very, the third, from the very beginning, if we say the third most important attribute of Allah the Exalted, the first one is Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, and then Rabbil Alameen. So Rabb, we say Rabbun, and that becomes Rabban and Rabbin. As I told you last time, if any change in case from case 1 to case 2 or case 3, it does not change the meaning. Rabbun means a Lord, Rabban a Lord, Rabbin a Lord, or attribute of Allah the Almighty. But remember, the word Rabb is also used for human being, okay? But if we say Al-Rabb, it refers back to Allah, the attribute of Allah. Some attributes have been used by human beings as well. And you will find that the parents, the father and mother, is also some kind of Rabb, Rabbirhamuma kama Rabbayani Saghira. And similarly, some the chief of the or master is also called Rabb. If you go to Surah Yusuf, you will find about the two prisoners, and I cannot go into detail, but I just give you a quick reference that if you go through, read Surah Yusuf, you will find Rabb for master or for chief or the king. Okay, and now we come to the third, which is Zalimun, oppressor, okay, the wrongdoer. Zalimun, it becomes in case 2 Zaliman and Zalimin. You may remember and notice that in case 2, after a maftuh letter, which is meme, followed by alif, and with kitaban, rabban, and zaliman. Now, next letter is maghfiratun. Word is maghfiratun, and maghfiratun is a noun. We know that every noun is here because it carries a tanween and ta'i marbuta. On top of ta'i marbuta, there is a tanween of dammatain, and it means forgiveness. So maghfiratun is forgiveness, and maghfiratan is forgiveness, and maghfiratin is also forgiveness. It does not change in the meaning, but some factors will decide which case will be written down or spoken or recited in the Holy Quran, depending upon the structure and the position of the sentence of where this word will be suitable, which work will be taken from this word, and accordingly that will be put in that category or in that column. Now, next word is su'un, and we know that su means bad thing, evil. Okay, so su and su'an and su'in. Now remember that I told you that whenever there is a rule, I introduce a rule, or you learn a rule from a book, from a teacher, or any your personal study, always remain or keep open one window of exception. So in su'un and in su'an, you find that there is no alif written after that, because, and also in maghfiratan, there is no alif written after that. So we also, if you go down nisa'un and nisa'an, which is also appearing on the screen or in the last line or row, so maghfiratan, which ta marbuta, su'an on hamza fathatain, nisa'an also hamza on fathatain, you cannot find an alif after that. So this is an exception. So it means that alif is not written as a part of this writing system. After hamza, alif 99% is not written. Sometimes is written, is only a couple of examples in the Quran, and inshallah ta'ala we will go through after that. But definitely maghfiratan, not even single exception in the Quran that alif is written after that. It is after ta marbuta, never ever alif is written in Arabic. And su'an or hamza, alif 99% is not written, but a couple of times it is written, and inshallah ta'ala we will explore in that. So su'un and su'an and su'in and nisa'un, nisa'an and nisa'in. Now, as I mentioned that this is, though this is a translation course, but I always give this preference, and I explain to the students that the very first step in the ladder of learning the Quran or teaching the Quran is the correct pronunciation of the Holy Quran, and the translation is the second step. But the second step cannot be understood or taught or learned well if we skip the first step, which is a recitational rules. Okay, because the very first contact of human contact with the Quran is a vocal contact. Because when Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, the archangel Gabriel, his first contact with the Holy Prophet ﷺ through vocal command, Iqra, and then we know the story, what is the beautiful story after that. And after that it was written down, and then it was explained by the Holy Prophet ﷺ in different traditions, each and every verse, basically in different matters, and that is preserved in forms of hadith, that sayings of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and also his own example, his sunnah. So the sunnah is also a great explanation, is a moving or explanation, life explanation of the Quran. Kana khuluquhul Quran was the statement of Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha when she was asked that how was the morals of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. How was he? And she very eloquently said, Kana khuluquhul Quran, that his morals, his habits, his actions were nothing but Quran, or means uh, comprised of the message of the Quran. So um, we talk about su'un, su'an, su'in, nisa'un, nisa'an, and nisa'in. So next we come to tamreen, which is exercise, and I want you I want from you complete the final strokes of the following words in terms of three cases. In terms of three cases. Now, there are 15 examples have been given to you. Now we know that Allahu, the very first example, in the first case, you will put a dhamma, okay, Allahu, and then fatha, and then kasra. And we may remember that in the very first lesson and also the second, we came to this understanding that tanween cannot take place at the end when a letter starts with an alif lam. Okay, when there is alif lam, tanween cannot come at the end. And if tanween comes at the end in original shape in any word of the Quran, definitely alif lam shall not come, shall not start in the beginning. So shall not be included in the beginning. So Allah, Allahu, Allah, and Allahi. Okay, and then we say Muhammadun, Muhammadan, and Muhammadin. And sometimes this only one standalone, one stroke remains, like Muhammadun and Muhammadu as well, but it depends how one word has taken its position in a sentence, in a passage. Okay, so what I said that please take down, you have to write down that all these 15 words in your notebook, in your daftar, in your notebook, and where you have to show the last letter with three case ending differently. If you are unable to write Arabic, Rasmul Khat is a writing system, you can read that and you can write in transliteration in Roman English. But it is, I think, that the one who can read the Quran or recite the Quran, it is a great pleasure for him or her, or for a learner, reciter, or a teacher to copy the actual words in Arabic. And believe me, trust me, that it is very, very easy. It is a great blessing and rewarding, basically. And writing the words of God and Quran will be very, very rewarding and a great source of satisfaction and personal pleasure as well. And writing the Quran is a great pleasure, has been great source of inspiration, satisfaction, and pleasure throughout the time, from the very beginning until now. It is a great art. This is a top in the art of Islam. So there are so many examples that people have been devotedly attaching to the calligraphy or writing. Even if they are unable to write beautifully, they have written down the Quran in so many ways that a person cannot comprehend that how the Quran inspired them. About some months ago, I watched a news on the television that one woman who was very, very devoted, and she wanted to write the Quran in her own way, and she wrote the whole of the Holy Quran in embroidery, and I cannot find a suitable word for gota, but you remember that in Asian countries there is very ornamental and beautiful gota system. Sometimes it is put on quilt or some cloth. So she wrote all of the Quran through that gota, with that writing material, and it is on the sheets, and it's a big room she devoted for that one. And see that from such many years I am doing that one, and now I am, by the grace of Allah, completed that one. That was his, her devotion, her dedication, her commitment, her expressing her love and her attachment to the Quran. And not this time, but some years ago, when at least 100 years back or 200 years back, when there was no printing system in those countries, very limited, the book printing, especially the Holy Quran was not printed at that time, because the very first copy of the Quran on here in the Arab world was or unified is it is believed that 1923. But I'm talking 200 years back, when a girl was married around 13, 14, 15, or whatever was the age, because after going to mosque, the very first their job was to read and be able to write the Quran. So from the age 5 and 6 or 7, they used to write the Quran, the copy of the Quran for their home, and that was initiated or encouraged and supported by the parents, by the family. At that time, she had no idea why I'm doing this one, because that was very customary in every family. But the main idea behind that, when she goes to in-laws, when she is married, she takes the copy of her, written by her, to her new home, so that she could read the Quran. She had one copy of the Quran with her at that home. So that was quite common. But now this system or this tradition is lost, because now that printing press is in great facility, and each and every household, in Muslim household, we have 5, 10 copies of the Quran, different, some translation, tafsir, simple, so that. But before, just about 100 years back or 200 years back, when that facility was not available, only they used to have the written copies, like that one. And that was a great treasure for her jahez, that which she could take to her house. So this is, you have to do this one, and next we come to a points to be remembered. Now, as I said, that this lesson is short, is just introduced to you new concept about that. So the first is the final vowel marks, one or two strokes of a noun is called i'rab. So this is a new idea, new concept. You can find that it is called i'rab. So i'rab bil harakat. So i'rab bil harakat means that identical stroke, one stroke or two, or any harakat at the end of a word is called i'rab. Technically, it is i'rab. Even sometime when I use terminology or some grammatical terms, so don't be afraid, or don't be that should not be make you put off. But if you can remember or memorize, by writing or by repeating, it is good. But the main thing is that you understand the concept behind that one, not the terms. Terms is just to facilitate the quick reading or quick understanding. For example, if I say UK, the one who understands what is behind that UK, United Kingdom, she or he will be understanding quickly, is referring to that one. And it is you know, the saving time. Okay, not if I say just look on Arab. If your concept is clear, you will quickly recognize what I'm talking. I don't have to repeat a long sentence to tell you that look at the last letter and the harakat on that. Okay, so that is the terminology. With the concept, understanding of concept, that is the main focus, and term will come automatically. So I said that it can have three cases with Dhamma, Fatha, or Kasra, or its Tanween. And Tanween, we know that the process of nasalization. So case changing does not affect the meaning of that noun. I have already explained to you. Now we come to point two. In terms of i'rab, as I mentioned, i'rab, the first case is called halatul raf. Halatul raf is in English nominative case. So I said that this is the very first case, and as I mentioned, the term, if you memorize, it is good. Otherwise, it will take time, and don't be, you know, don't be, I would say, struggle. You should struggle to memorize that one. If you continue revising your notes, that will be all right for you. So it can be identified by Dhamma as the final mark, and every word in this case is called marfu. Marfu means the original case. When a word is in the original case, yani to Dhammatain or with Dhamma, it is called marfu technically. You know that we know that in every science of branch of knowledge, for example, if there is a medical profession, engineering profession, or any technical profession, every profession, every branch of science, every branch of knowledge has some terminology, has some terms to, you know, to relate that knowledge and that understanding. So the Arabic grammar, Arabic structure, marfu is a term which is quickly recognized by those who understand that one, that any letter, any word, or any letter having a dhamma or dhammatain is called marfu. That is halatul raf. Halatul raf means that the condition or status or case of raf with dhamma, nominative case. And nominative case is also understandable in English structure as well, in grammar as well. So number three is that in terms of i'rab, the second case is called halatul nasb, and this is objective case. As I mentioned that if we say nominative case or objective case, it is understandable in English parts of speech or English grammar. We know that objective case is means on which the work has been done. So halatul nasb, it is called in Arabic. It can be identified by fatha or its tanween as the final mark. Every word in this case is called mansub. Remember that nasab means when a person is in a standing position. Okay, we know that the poles are always in a halatul nasb. You know, the poles where the electricity poles or any pole, they are always not in a lying position but in a erected position, and that is called halatul nasb. And there are certain words which sometimes they have to be acting like a pole, erected pole, like as mentioned kitaban, maghfiratan. So every word in this case is called mansub. If a word ends with ta marbuta or waw hamza or alif hamza, it will not take an alif after it, as compared to the other example in this case I was mentioning on this one at su'an and maghfiratan. Okay, so we come to now number 4. In terms of i'rab, the third case, which is a kasratain, is called halatul jar. And genitive case, those who are can understand the English grammar, genitive case is also well familiar with that one. Otherwise, the notes have been given. You can find, you can explore from your own study from dictionary or from the English grammar book. So it can be identified by kasra as the final mark. So every word in this case is called majroor. Majroor, jar means to bring it down. Okay, to bring it down. Jar. Hazrat Musa والسلام, it is mentioned in the Quran that when he became angry with his brother Hazrat Harun, Aaron al-Islam, for a certain reason, and he said, "Yajurruhu ilay," that he was pulling him down, his hair, pulling him down. So majroor means where the certain factors or awamil, they have made that word, the Arab or the harakat of that word in a lying position. It has been downward, okay, downward, down the earth, that. So that is marfu, mansub, and majroor. So it is not quite clear that if I am talking about this one, kitabun, this is in a marfu position, and kitaban in a mansub, and kitabin is majroor. This is quite technical, but not to worry, inshallah you will learn. Okay, so this is your we have 4 minutes to go, and this is your tamreen, your homework. Okay, every word has been taken from the Quran. So I said that identify cases of various nouns in the following phrases and place them in 3 columns. So in your daftar, in your one page, make 3 columns as I have made, this 3 columns. Make 3 columns like case 1, case 2, and case 3. Now, this is from the Quran. The word is ilallahi. Okay, ilallahi. Muhammadur Rasulullahi. Now, where I have highlighted the word, put that word in a correct column. I would say that ilallahi, you would say that because he, ha, takes a kasra, it will come to case 3 in a genitive case. Okay, so where comes Muhammadun? We know that Muhammadun is a marfu, is a dammatain. It will come to a column 1. So similarly, you have to complete each and every word where a certain letter has been highlighted and put that into. For example, on Muhammad Rasulullah, in this example 2, you have to write down Muhammadun in 1 column, Rasulu is also 1 column, and Allah in 1 column. We know that Muhammadun and Rasulu separately they will go to case 1, and Allahi case 3, and Allah in this one it will be in case 2. Okay, that is a second case, and Ghafurun again. So you can classify them quickly. Okay, now the next is this beautiful verses of the Quran. Each verse is beautiful, but some are very understandable and very quickly we can attach ourselves because the attributes of the believers. So this is from Surah Al-Furqan. I have this is chapter 25 and verse 62 to 65. Okay, so again I would say that identify cases of noun, nominative, accusative, objective, and genitive. Maybe accusative is a bit difficult to say the objective, in which a word is being used as objective and genitive in the following verses. So Tabarak alladhi ja'ala fis samai. So you will say as-samai. You just put it down as-samai, and that will be in the case 3. Burujan, where it will go. Al-layla, where it will go. Kamaran, muniran. Okay. So these are, you just do this exercise, and inshallah ta'ala we will come with lesson 11 next Thursday, inshallah ta'ala. Okay. So that is the conclusion of today's lesson. Again, I'm sorry that we could not start in the beginning at the right time, and we conclude now اللهم ذكرني منه ما نسيت وعلمني منه ما جهلت وارزقني تلاوته آناء الليل والنهار واجعله لي حجة يا رب العالمين. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Please download these notes, and if you have downloaded, please make sure that you printed them and put them in your file and folder, and keep revising. Now, mashallah, we have completed 10 lessons, so keep going, revising all the time. If you give 20 minutes, even 20 minutes or 15 to 20 minutes on daily basis, going through or revising and skimming through your notes, that will be good. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.